Hey everybody, this is Dominik D'Angelo, WrestleZone.com. Today's date is April 26, 2021. And I'm here with my brother Marcus. Marcus, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm doing great, Dom. We're welcoming a really special guest. I told you a few podcasts ago that it's been a long time since the 90s when, the NWO was going crazy. That music would hit and I'd get really excited. Like my heart rate would pick up. I get super pumped up about who's coming out. And I haven't really felt that way. I still love wrestling, but I haven't felt that way until recently on AEW when they brought our special guest out. Dominik, why don't you go ahead and announce her?
We're happy to have with us here today Thunder Rosa, who has Mission Pro Wrestling coming up this May 1st, locked and loaded. Thunder Rosa, thank you for joining us so much. And we mean that too. Like, we've talked about you several times on our Two Dynamite Dudes and express how much like you raise the stakes for us when we're watching the show. So it's a pleasure to have you on today.
Well, thank you. It means a lot. It's so humbling when you're talking about it and you're just saying like, haven't gotten excited since, I don't know, a long time when somebody's music comes out and then you send my music and I'm just like,
oh, and I mean it too. Dominik hears me every single week. We always do an MVP at the end of our episode, and literally every time you're on, I'm like, she's the MVP. She's the greatest wrestler I've ever seen. She's the MVP.
It's now that you guys are saying that even more, I wanna work even harder to just be that legendary female wrestler for forever and ever and ever. Even once I'm done wrestling, I wanna pull a Sherry Martel style managing. Like I will love to do that. That will be like the last thing I do before I retire from that.
The final tip of the cap.
No doubt about it.
So that's kind of awesome. And what I really liked about our first interview I did with you when we promoted Mission Pro last time was you said like how much you're fired up and how motivated you are and making that name for yourself with not just the women's wrestler, but wrestling in general, like just all encompassing. And I think it's super cool that Mission Pro is just strictly women and you're getting to highlight all that. How has it been like over 2020, obviously with the pandemic and stuff, balancing that promotion and being able to do all this other stuff from AEW to NWA? I know like there's been some downtime, but has it been stressful or challenging in a lot of ways?
At times it is and at times it's not. I mean, I definitely have a very strong team right now. I found a very, 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 very good woman who had experience in Hollywood before, and now she's living here in San Antonio. And she's our right hand. We go to her for everything, and definitely she's been helping us in another level that I don't think I would have been able to do it myself because I don't have time right now. Mm-hmm. And her name is Melanie, by the way. She runs our photography and she runs our show every Tuesday along with another person. But she's been like so helpful for us. And also the fans and some of our sponsors have been doing a lot extra, and they just want to keep helping us and they want to keep helping the women grow. So it's been a team effort, definitely.
And that's what's cool about it too, is like having that cohesiveness and be able to promote and put on a show like that. That's like, and sometimes even like during the pandemic, it's a lot to balance. So very much so. I wanted to ask too, you guys have quite the card. There's a lot of talent that featured from the Texas area, but it's also like talent that viewers have probably seen on Dark or Elevation. We like from, let's see, Red Velvet obviously is there. She's in the main event against La Rosa Negra. And then we also have, who else is on there? We got, Tesha Price is on there. And then like some interesting ones too, I thought was like Holly Deed and Genocide. I thought the very unique looks too. Talk about just getting those kind of talents in and how they've flourished not only in Mission Pro but in AEW as well.
I will talk about Red Velvet. She was in AEW as an extra before she started working with us, and she was part of our first show, and she's been working with us ever since then. She's been a key figure for our show because we wanted to showcase people that were new, that were talented, that were hungry. And now she's signed in AEW, right? She's official, and she continued to come and continue to support us. One of the things that I will say about working with such an awesome company, which is AEW, is having been able to use some of the talent that doesn't necessarily come and do indie shows, and now they feel comfortable to come in a place into which is Mission Pro Wrestling and performing in front of our fans, because they feel protected, they feel that we take care of them, and that's one of the most important things that we wanted to set for any women that steps in the ring in Mission Pro Wrestling. And that was for Red Velvet. For Genocide, it's been really good because we've been able to see her progression in the last 8-9 months. And now, she worked in AEW, she worked in NWA, and she continues to work for us. And I have a lot of fun watching her grow. And not only she's a great person in the ring, outside of the ring, she's even a better person. And we're really happy that she's part of the Mission Pro Wrestling family. Holly Dad, well, she's my wife. I call her my wife. She's very interesting. I don't think people give her enough credit for what she does inside and outside of the ring. She's definitely a great commentator, color commentator, as she calls herself. And it's really cool to see when you find a good opponent for her. Like Genocide, this will be the second time they face each other, that they can throw the house down. So we're very, very excited about this match.
Yeah, and something I think a lot of people are excited about too is you're gonna mix it up a little bit here with Dave LaGreca, right? Is that what's gonna happen here?
Yes. So I cut a promo and I said that I was gonna raise money for his funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, my PayPal is not working, so I can't even put it on eBay. So I might just do a GoFundMe just for the fun. Just because in the next 3 days, let's see how much money we raise. Right. And if it's not for his funeral, it will be for a good cause. We'll figure it out what it is. But yes, we've been feuding for a couple of weeks, and he just keeps talking shit, and I'm not about to let a man like him who's famous, and he calls himself the Draw, by the way. Like,
what?
Saying, because of me, I sold these many tickets. I'm the Draw, whatever, man.
My God.
Yes, I'm the Draw, whatever. I brought Mia Khalifa before. We sold the same amount of tickets. You can go and shove it, They want to see me beat your ass. That's the Draw.
That's it. And you know what? Wasn't he playing like both sides of the field? Wasn't he like playing like saying, "Oh, I'm a Britt Baker fan, but I'm a Thunder Rosa fan too"? Is that
play with that? You're either a Britt Baker fan or you're a Thunder Rosa fan. You can't
be the other.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, we're both very different women in the ring, and we both have very different motives of why we wrestle. And well, now she's the number one contender. I could have been the number one contender, but the lights out, that match didn't count. And although it was a great win for a lot of people and we made history, it didn't count. So she is now the number one contender for the AEW Women's Championship, and I have to eat that and be patient. My time will come one day. And yeah, but he cannot. Nope, she's my arch enemy number one. Like, I can't.
Well, let me speak for both Marcus and I. When we're from Pittsburgh, where Britt's from, and we're Thunder Rosa people. So, I mean,
it's true.
Right.
You say that now because you would probably know that I will find your address.
I know, right?
Yeah, we know you've been training MMA, so we're always my favorite.
Every day, I shouldn't be. I should do it more, but I'm so you were asking me earlier, how do you balance? I don't know. Like I train 4 hours a day, and it's just MMA. And It's not enough because it's not where I want to be yet for a fight. So, but I train MMA as much as I can.
Well, actually, speaking about Britt, I think it transitions well to one of the questions that I had. It really comes through the screen, and it's really compelling television. Anytime one of you is talking about the other, I just wanted to ask, what's it been like? What's your experience been like so far around Britt, around Rebel, Reba, whatever we're calling her, and how have you felt about how things have progressed in your feud?
Well, it's been great, as you guys seen. Like, we had really good matches. Definitely the most evil people can be the most fun to work with, and Britt is one of them. She is a very smart woman. I always said it. Just like any heel or any villain that from, like, I call her the Joker. I'm the Batman. She's the Joker of my Batman. She's a very smart, calculated woman. in the ring and outside of the ring. That's what it makes it even more interesting when we get in the ring, because she knows what she wants and she knows how to do it. So when you're with somebody like that, you have to be on your toes. And she knows that I have a lot of heart, and it doesn't matter what she throws at me, tables, ladders, and chairs, thumbtacks, whatever. I'm not giving up so easily. So she knows that forever and ever we'll have epic battles until we die.
And that's what feels like too. I think Marcus and I, when we did that podcast after that match happened, I think we compared it to like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels rivalry. Was that the one we used, or Austin and The Rock, one of the big ones? So
absolutely, and kind of the grittiness of it had some real like early Mankind, Undertaker kind of vibes, as far as just like this gritty, like absolute brawl where two people are not just trying to win a match but hurt each other. And so it was, I mean, came right through the screen. You said it earlier, and I want to just reiterate, like it was history in the making. Did you feel at the time that you were doing it, like when you walked back through the curtain, were you like just made history?
Yes. Oh yes. Even before, it was there was a lot of weight in our shoulders. Um, I honestly felt like I was going into the cage again. It was like the same feeling, the same feeling. Although you know other things, but it was like that feeling, in where I had to call my husband for him to calm me down, because I was very nervous, and I was one of those moments in where I started doubting myself a couple hours before the show, and it couldn't be that way. I needed that pump. I needed my corner. I needed to have a corner with me.
corner man.
But it was very challenging, because there was a lot of stuff that I have never done in my career. It was the first time that I ever like play with chairs that way, that I ever play with putting somebody on through ladders or through thumbtacks or through any of that sort. And like I was very, very nervous, but I didn't know the amount of impact that I was, because I knew we were gonna make history, but I didn't know how that was gonna impact women's wrestling in general.
Yeah. And you know what? I think we mentioned too, if there was a live crowd there, holy smokes, the stakes, like even more so, would have been like just ultimate. And we mentioned that too. Like it would have been like a top match on any top kind of card or event going on too, not just Dynamite. So it transcended a lot of levels, I think. So
And I, even though, like I said, we didn't have a crowd, like the fact that people connected to it at home, it's even more touching.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard to do that, because you can have a dead match or all, any type of match, and nobody will give a crap.
Right.
And it was this match, and it was just everybody was fully invested. And it was not only because there was a lot of blood and it was very violent, but it was the story that we told for months. And like I said, the thing is, when I'm faced with those feuds of that sort, I really invest myself emotionally, because there is a lot that I feel that as a performer, people never gave me a chance. And when the chance is given, and they're like like pushing me and pushing me and pushing me, and it is just funny, because you take it so personal that people can feel it, and that's the most important part.
Well,
I gotta ask you this.
go ahead, Dominik.
No, go ahead. It's okay.
I was just going to say another feud that really just has sucked both of myself and Dominik in. Just some unbelievable matches is obviously what you've been doing with Serena Deeb. You guys have had two of the best matches I think I've seen on AEW thus far. And Dominik and I were both there live for the Cody Dustin match in Las Vegas. And I still feel that way, where I'm like those matches that you were having with Serena, again, like Serena, she's such a technician, and it felt like Bret Hart coming up against Shawn Michaels. So after seeing the first one, I was just blown away. You guys had that second one. It was unbelievable. I'm wondering, if there is to be a third match between yourself and Serena, ideally with the NWA title at stake, would you be thinking about a stipulation match, or would you just want to do one-on-one singles competition?
Well, I don't book the show, man.
Well, if you had it your way.
I would like the stipulation match for sure. I wrestled Serena 1, 2, 3 times. The second time was a 26-minute match. Not a lot of people watching, and I think they took it down. But brutal. It was brutal. That's when I lost the championship to her. and yeah, it has to be stipulation. Like it will give it more kind of fuel to the fire. I feel that there's still a lot more for me to like to tell and for me to do, especially for a championship match, and just to try to get the NWA title back. I think there's still a lot in me in the tank, and I'm like getting to a level in where I want to be challenged and I want to be wrestling the best all the time. I mean, I like to wrestle new talent and everything, and that's fun, but definitely I'm very laser focused on what I want in this couple of months.
I wanted to ask you too. You mentioned like people not like somewhat not giving you an opportunity to like show your creativity and stuff. Like, did you find that chip on your shoulder? And I always think of when that like a chip on your shoulder, like Tom Brady gets or somebody like that. Do you find that really, really motivates you a lot to like just keep exceeding? And like you look at those times where maybe you got denied or something didn't pan out the way you wanted, and you're like, okay, this is a motivator for me. Is that? Do you look at that in a lot of ways?
Half of the roster is like younger than I am.
Yeah.
You know, well, it's just like Brady fucking worked harder than probably 99.9% of the people in the locker room to set up, and he showed everybody off. As simple and as basic as he was effective, and that's what I keep wanting to show to the world. Like, it doesn't matter if I flip, it doesn't matter if I turn, it doesn't matter if I do like this cool dives and lucha stuff. Like at the end of the day, is the nitty gritty like wrestling, the ground and pound and the violence that Thunder Rosa brings to the ring that makes me different from everybody else in the ring.
Yeah, your corner drop kicks are some of the most devastating blows I remember seeing in pro wrestling. Every time I see it, I kind of cringe. I'm like, I can't look away though. It's incredible.
Yeah, you're not the first one that says that. I
Oh, really? Yeah.
I feel that for my opponent sometimes. I'm just like, you die.
What?
I just wanted to return to Serena for one more second. What do you think it is between the two of you that creates such incredible chemistry?
I have a lot of respect for her, like so much respect for her in every single aspect of professional wrestling. She was one of the people that I look up to way before I started wrestling, and the fact that I had an opportunity to step in the ring with her, I learned so much. And every time I step in the ring with her, I continue to learn so much, because she, like you said, she's a technical wizard. Like she can study you and know you by watching 2-3 matches, and that's it. And she will like know you back and forth. It's pretty crazy. And she's a pretty cool challenger to wrestle, because you always can have a very different match, very technical. And if you're not technical, you better learn how to be technical, because she's gonna pull it out of you.
You're gonna get you. You're gonna get you. I wanted to ask, you mentioned too, like you contacting your husband and stuff sometimes before a match. How big of a support system has he been throughout your whole career when you're balancing not only wrestling, full time, but doing MMA and then promoting wrestling shows and stuff like that? How's he been for you?
He's everything. He's everything.
Yeah, I could imagine. It's good to have that balance too. That always helps. What I wanted to ask too, speaking of like with the Tom Brady attitude and stuff like that, is there a certain talent in Mission Pro that you kind of sense that in, or notice that, hey, this girl's got some drive to her that I can see she's gonna go places? Is there a certain couple talents even? One
of the reasons why we had La Rosa Negra as the champion, as one of the first inaugural champions, it was between her and I think she's So Sky on WWE now, or Lacey Ryan. Her name was Ryan. Yeah. They were two of the best underlooked talent that I met for years and I knew for years. By the time Zoe, we were thinking on Zoe. Zoe was like on her path to WWE. So we were like, the next one should be La Rosa Negra. I don't think La Rosa Negra gets enough respect. She's been wrestling for a long, long time. She's very, very talented and very hungry. She reminds me of, I'm a big Tina Turner fan.
Yeah.
And she reminds me of that Tina Turner, and where, the color of her skin and her age, it's something that has kept her from being taken to places. But when she has the right manager and the right people to believe in her, she can, the world is an oyster and she can do whatever. So I'm hoping that we can find that opportunity for her that is going to, take her to the next level, because she is such a talented woman, mother, trainer, and she has such a great energy. And I think she will be one of the ones that I will be like, if she makes it, I'll be very, very happy for her. But I remember the first time, another one I saw, Zoe's guy. No, Sky Blue. There's so many Zoe's and guys, and
yeah, right. There's a lot of them.
Sky Blue.
Uh-huh.
I saw her work. She hasn't been working for that long. Then I told my husband, she's gonna get signed pretty soon. She's attractive. She's young. She's coachable. She seems coachable. I think she's money. And we brought her to a show, and then all of a sudden, people started contacting her, or like I was like, "Hey, are you interested in working in these places?" And she's like, "Yeah." Then, she got the opportunity. She's been in NWA and AEW. She did really, really well. I wouldn't be surprised if she gets a tryout pretty soon. Like I said, she's very young, very talented, and she has like a really cool spirit. So I would like to see her succeed. And another one, let's see, there's so many.
I could imagine. Yeah, even looking at that card, I'm like, wow, that's a great balance of like matchups there going. You have for Locked and Loaded.
That's what I try to do all the time. Like we're trying to find matchups that one never happened before.
Mm-hmm.
Two, that will, every match, no matter if it's a 5-6 minute match, it will be a banger. And three, that the girls are ready to bring another style of wrestling that not necessarily they do all the time. If you guys have watched our shows before, our shows are pretty they're pretty entertaining from top to bottom, and we try to give them the best feedback possible. So if there was like anything, it was like lacking somewhere, or something didn't work out, we make sure our agents sit down with them and give them feedback for the next show. So if they're doing the same performance, they can enhance it and make it better, because at the end of the day, what we want for them is to get an opportunity at a TV show or something bigger, not always to be wrestling in the indies. Yeah, as much as we would love to have them there all the time, we want to create talent and we want to push them to another level. And we believe that Mission Pro Wrestling is not your typical women promotion. Like I said, we ask a little bit more because it's run by women, and we want the women that are there to be successful. And like I said, we everything we have promised so far, we have done it. And like I said, we try to push our ladies to do their best and to excel in professional wrestling.
Yeah. Oh, and it's shining through. Like you see the talent on Dark and Elevation too from there. I thought it was cool too that you had a match with Shauna Reed, one of Dustin Rhodes' Academy people. Yeah. Talk about that and how that experience was. And Dustin's a pretty big influence on the women's locker room in AEW, right?
Yes, he is. I will say he's one of the few coaches that I have right now for professional wrestling. He's one of my coaches.
Really?
And yes. And I really enjoy his class. He's very open. He treats us really, really well. He's very supportive. He's a total different style of coaching than I am. Sometimes I can be such a a-hole because I'm like, do it like this. But he's helped us tremendously. And as a coach, like I can tell you, my eyes fill with tears when I can tell you before the match too, with Britt Baker, he came, he gave me a hug, he kissed my head, and he said, "You are the baddest bitch in this place. Go and kill it out there. You know what to do." And I was just like, because he's so tall. And when I knew I was going to work his student, I was actually really excited because I really love working with new talent or people that are not well known, because I love being able to one, make them feel comfortable in the ring, and two, try to challenge them in a different way. Because like I said, I work now I figure it out. Like I had a match with Masha this weekend, and I was like, let's go in the ring, girl. Like I'm just like at that point where I don't want to call spots. Yeah. But with Shauna, I really want her to feel comfortable. Like it's number one, we come to a new place, is you have to feel comfortable and you have to feel confident anytime you step in the ring, no matter with who it is. And it was a 5-minute match, and I really do enjoy it. It was actually really, really, it was solid. It was solid. She looked really good. And I was like, those moments in where you are on top of me and I'm giving you my body, shine, like really fire up. Like that's your moment. I will still for you. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
It really feels like too, it seems like the kind of the earmark whenever it comes to a great pro wrestler is not only making history in the ring, which so far you have done, and I assume will continue to do, but also you elevate other talent, not just with Mission Pro Wrestling, but just by being in the ring with people, making these young women better. You could literally see whenever you and Serena Deeb arrived on the scene in AEW, you could see the bar raise, and all of a sudden, they're pulling out all the stops, and the women's wrestling is absolutely must watch on AEW now.
Yeah, that's what we need. That's what we need to develop the young women's division that we still have, and it's gonna take a couple more months. It's gonna take a year, who knows? But it's happening, and it's really nice to see that. It's really nice to see that people are actually watching the female segments now. Like the last match, Sheeta and Tay County for the title. I
Title.
was doing commentating in Spanish, and it was really nice to watch that. Even Sheeta, she showed another side of her that I haven't seen in a while. She was so aggressive, so fired. Like I was like, Sheeta, where you been, man? Like I like this Sheeta. I want to wrestle this Sheeta, and but that's what we need. We need to hold each other accountable, and we don't need to point fingers at each other like, oh, you suck, oh, you suck. And it's like, hey girl, what you're struggling in, okay, let's work on it. Let's do it. Let's make it work. Because there's nothing worse than when something goes wrong, you're blaming your opponent and you're this and that. I was like, no, I mean, you can't do that. You just talk to them and be like, hey man, just maybe we need to simplify things. Maybe we need to practice before we do it. Maybe we shouldn't be doing this at all. Let's try something else that is gonna work. It's always like that, and that's the mentality I have now. I can't, unless I get dumped in my head, I can't get mad on my opponent.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that we fans always hear is that, part of your training, part of wrestlers' trainings is a lot of the guys will use the phrase, leave the business better than you found it. And it sounds like you're certainly on that track, not just from your personal standpoint, but just the legacy you're going to leave behind with some of these young women that you're helping to propel. Like obviously this Lights Out match, it was considered like a highlight career moment. What do you feel is next? What's the next level for you?
Becoming the 2-time NWA Women's World Champion and becoming an AEW Women's Champion. And then from there, I just have to do a couple of TED Talks on how to be successful. That's the thing I want to do TED Talk, then probably get my master's degree on business or on sports psychology. And
Gary Martell, you got to do that too.
Yes, I will tell you, this is gonna happen. I will become, after wrestling, one of the best managers in the damn world because I love managing.
It's so fun.
People don't know about me. People haven't seen me do. And managing was how I started. And she was one of the people that I used to look up to and like study. And I was just like, I'll just feed off my whoever I was representing. And you guys can watch NWA right now. Melina and I, when we're like cutting promos on other people, we feed off each other so well. And not a lot of people can do that. And putting somebody over that maybe doesn't have that much charisma or is like struggling with like finding themselves, and you find them a really, really good manager, is money. Like regardless of what people say, like that is so money.
Oh, managing! I think it's so cool that AEW's brought that back into the mix so much, and like because you haven't seen managers like for a long time, and it's refreshing to see them like balance with one another and have that kind of synergy almost you're aiming for.
Yes.
You mentioned too. We'll let you go with this. You mentioned being like an MMA and sports and everything like that. I've seen. I need to know like you're a Cleveland Browns fan, and then are you also? Oh, you aren't? Okay.
Who's your team?
Because you were cheering them, right? During the playoffs, right?
No, because Britt was like, yeah, let's go, whatever. Just like, he's a Steelers fan.
Yes. Okay.
So who is your
know that?
I'm not. Holly that is a Browns fan. She like loves Browns.
My husband. What's your team then?
I used to follow football a lot before started wrestling, so I used to watch the Bears.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like the very first Super Bowl I watched. when the Bears won the Super Bowl a long time ago. They lost, of course.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were the only ones that I follow. But then after when I was in the Bay Area, I used to go and watch the Raiders and the 49ers. And then here we haven't had a chance to go and see the Texans or the Cowboys.
Yeah.
My husband's like the Cowgirls. He hates Cowboys.
Oh well, but there's Marcus right there. Look.
Oh my god. Oh. But yeah, I mean, I like football. I like watching football. I like enjoying. I like sports. My favorite is baseball. To go and watch it.
Yeah.
We enjoy baseball. Oh yes, we do.
What's your team for that?
The A's.
The A's. I love the A's.
They're so sucky, but it was so much fun to watch them. We had really good memories at the A's stadium at the Coliseum.
Well, I tell you, we're Pirates fans, so we feel your pain greatly.
A lot of disappointment.
Yes, tons of it.
So much. Rosa, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been awesome. It really has been.
Thank you. And don't forget, guys, to if you're not coming to San Antonio to see me and the rest of the girls kick ass, you guys can go on titlematchnetwork.com and sign up, and you can watch our show live. It starts at 7:30 Central, I think, 30 Eastern, and 5:30 Pacific.
We'll be sure to put all that information up in the article and stuff.
And you can follow me at Thunder Rosa 22 at all my handles, and you can purchase my sold out merchandise right now.
Yeah.
And that same thing for Mission Pro Wrestling. You guys can get more information or tickets at missionprowrestling.net.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks for tuning in, guys.